This is Time Signatures with Jim Ervin, a podcast and radio program presented by the Capital Area Blues Society in Lansing, Michigan.
Driving up and down these Michigan roads, yeah.
And now, here he is, your host, Jim Ervin.
Baby, I'm home.
Well, hello there, my friends, and thank you so much, Parker. I'm Jim Ervin, and this is Time Signatures. You know, there's lots of good things happening around the world of blues right now, and there's simply no shortage of new music being released right this minute. My guest today is among those who have new albums being launched, and his own new album is entitled Live at the Chicago Blues Festival, which is in itself a pretty doggone cool thing because not everybody gets a shot at the big stage at the largest free blues festival in the world. And by the way, yes, you do recognize him because he's been here before. Stella Blue recording artist Stefan Hillesheim, welcome back to Time Signatures, my friend. How you doing, man?
Hey, thanks for having me. Good to be back.
It is a pleasure. So I want to take care of some family business here before we dive in, Stefan, because you recently added a new member to your family, didn't you?
Yes. My daughter Layla, our daughter Layla, she is 2 weeks and some change now,
Wow.
and keeps us on our toes here. But
Yeah, no
yeah,
kidding.
we're really happy.
Has she got daddy wrapped around her pinky yet? I got to know.
Yeah, you could say that. That would be an accurate statement. Yeah.
Yeah. It only gets better from there, man. So tell me, as new parents, how are mom and dad adjusting to life with the new little lady?
Um, Dividing up tasks, shift system, There's
Yep.
certain times, I'm really bad taking a nap during the day, or it's maybe the music thing. Like I'm kind of awake till late, and then I have my sleep, and then I'm sometimes up early. So we work around that, and I usually take the 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. whatever shift starting early, and that's cool with me. But my wife has a little bit of easier time kind of taking a nap in the middle of the day. I was never good at that.
Right.
But
Well,
things are going well.
good. Glad to hear that. All I can tell you, brother, is enjoy her while she's young because before you know it, they're off to school, then to college and all that. So be sure to soak up all of those special moments that you can as you go along the journey.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Now, from the looks of things, you've been keeping yourself pretty busy otherwise in and around Chicago venues recently. You truly have become a staple of the Chicago blues scene, haven't you?
Hey, I do what I can. I mean, for obvious reasons, I'm trying to stay put at the moment, not
Sure.
travel. And I mean, it's winter too, so that in itself kind of slows it down unless you're trying to go south, Florida, ways. But with the little one here, try to keep things local, but there's plenty to do in Chicago, the clubs.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of anticipating the festivals and stuff that's coming for the summer and fall. And it's nice to have some music ready to release, and the timing couldn't be better, because we had all the
Sure.
work done basically before our daughter arrived. We had everything mixed and mastered and ready, so that worked out nicely.
Yeah. And that brings us to the matter at hand, Stefan. Your new album, Live at the Chicago Blues Festival, is set to release this Sunday, which is only 3 days away, man. How does that feel knowing that you're so close to dropping this one?
Yeah, exciting. It's been a really interesting progress and process in itself because
Sure.
every time I have something new that's recorded, I go through this phase where I listen to it till I'm really sick of listening to it. I don't want to say I'm sick of the album, but you listen to it so much, and then you also try to get constructive feedback, send it to people who really know what they're talking about in the industry, who have like a lot of experience. And through
Right.
all this, I feel like this recording artists always say my most recent recording is my best, but I truly feel that way because like we grew as a band in terms of cohesion and playing together. I grew as an artist, singing, playing, and writing. And the songs in itself, some of them I wrote a while ago, have grown by playing them in front of different audiences.
Yes, sir.
And for some reason, playing it in front of a festival crowd is really different than playing it to a club audience.
Yes, I understand
And
that.
yeah, the intimate club setting, some things in an intimate setting work that wouldn't necessarily translate to a larger stage.
Right.
And both is very enjoyable in a club. You can really like break it down to, basically just playing on the strings of the guitar with the amplifier, not even, engaged. That doesn't work on a big festival stage. I mean, it can work, but it's just it's really hard to get to that point. Um, and I feel like it helped us kind of shift into another gear, just the excitement and seeing that the music is being well received, seeing a lot of familiar faces in the first like 5, 10 rows, and then of course people who are visiting, but just the combination of everything. It was a great blues festival weekend. It was a great performance that we had, and we were able to capture it. And those factors like really all matter in the result.
Yes. Well, I noticed something. Now, as you know, I got to see you in Kalamazoo when you played last summer, and a good friend of mine, Chris Canis, played at the blues festival down there as well. And I'd never seen him play in a blues fest. I've always seen him in those smaller settings. So when you said that just now, it's like, yeah, that totally clicks with me. I totally get that. And I have to admit, you to me on this set, I want to thank you, by the way, for sharing this with me because you allowed me to have a digital copy of the album to preview in advance of the interview. You guys had a great set. You really did. But how exciting that you got to record a live set at the Blues Fest in Chicago, man. That must have been a really big deal.
Yeah, and it takes a lot of determination. It's not like that came about easily. There was
Sure.
a lot of negotiating and talking to different parties and everything
Okay.
involved. It hasn't been done in a very long time. To my knowledge, not since the 90s. Like it hasn't been done in a
Wow.
very long time.
Yeah, they
It's
should
not
do more.
easy. Yeah, especially because of like the switch overs. They're short, and it's not really intended for people to set up much or do a lot between bands switching. And we performed at the Roses Lounge stage, and the owner Tony, he has a very elaborate setup for his live streams as it is.
Yes,
So
he
he
does.
brought his equipment there, and that
Wow.
made it easier because the sound engineer Pete Galanis, who recorded my last live record from Rose's Lounge, is
Yeah.
really familiar, with their way of capturing it, and there were a lot of things working in my favor. It was still not easy, and I wanted to do it the right way, ask for permissions everywhere. Um, but it worked out nicely because we just really wanted to do it.
Yeah. Well, and I love Tony Mangiulo for the simple reason that it seems like every time I hear Tony's name mentioned, he's always trying to help the musician. He's always trying to lend a hand. And I mean, the stuff that he does by having those live streams from Roses each weekend, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're well known or if you're not known at all. If you're playing on the stage at Roses, you're going to be worldwide. And yeah, that's it's just a really cool, in my opinion, it's cool to have somebody who owns a venue and promotes the musician like Tony does for you guys. But that had to be some experience for you guys for sure. Absolutely. Um,
Well, yeah,
go ahead. Go ahead.
it was, yeah. And I've been visiting the Blues Festival since I came to Chicago, so I've watched a lot of performances, and same last year, I went to see a lot of people play who I like. Kingfish was there, and
Right.
uh,
Yep.
a lot of the Chicago musicians who I enjoy watching, Rico McFarland, Mike Wheeler, and so it, it really builds anticipation if you see people perform on certain stages, a festival, and you're like, maybe next year, maybe it's my turn, and then it was our turn finally. It makes it really special, you know.
Indeed. Now, I want you to talk about the concept of recording this live set, if you would. What went into it as far as preparation on your end with the band?
Um, Interestingly enough, not much, because that's
Okay.
just what we do. We don't really need extra rehearsals or anything for playing what we always do, you know. So it's the rehearsal is basically performing shows, even though we change the setup every now and then, but we try not to get too much in our heads about certain arrangements, like keep it
Hmm.
loose enough, you know, spontaneous enough. If there's an extra chorus of piano solo, if that happens in the moment, so be it. We try not to, chart everything out, and try to be in the moment, see how where the energy naturally goes. But other than that, I think the most that we did coordinating was trying to pick matching shirts that look good. Other than that, we just played a show, you know. We put
Right.
a set list together, which usually I don't do. Like for this particular gig, I did it, that I don't forget about any songs that I really wanted to record.
Yep.
And yeah, we just tried to act as if we're not recording. That's the thing, because if you really get in your head about the words and about, every note, when I get up there, I try to ignore the fact that this is on the record.
Okay. All right.
Give
Now,
it your best shot.
however, I have to believe that knowing where you were recording had to weigh heavily upon your choice of the songs, right? Were there certain songs you chose just because you were recording at that area on that stage?
Yeah, there was a second, there was a brief moment where I stood on stage and I was thinking to myself, why the hell did I do that to myself? Just getting up here and playing is one thing, but why on earth did I commit to recording this? It is extra pressure, and I feel like it's on everybody, but in I feel it the most because I get in my head, especially about the words, like that the delivery of the lyrics is clear, that I don't like, mumble words or get
Sure.
for some reason, sometimes I get jumbled up with my own lyrics, like like I should know them. But I think that part makes me more nervous than playing. It's just you want to make sure that your point comes across, and
Sure.
sometimes you kind of stumble over your own tongue, and that makes me nervous when it's
Hey,
recorded.
that happens to me a lot too. I get it. You get your tang all tangled up, and next thing you know, you're tripping over yourself, and you just have to do the best you can, man. But the one thing I noticed, you only had two covers on this one too. I mean, this was mostly original stuff for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, and the covers were intentional. Uh,
Okay.
So I always like to pick one or two artists that I pay tribute to, and everybody who kind of knows about the music that I write and my guitar playing knows that Elmo James is really high up there, and he's like one of my biggest influences. His slide guitar playing, also his voice, and Hurts Me Too is a song that we've been doing for a while, and we kind of have a little bit of our own arrangement with couple of chords that are different from the original.
Okay.
And so we enjoyed doing that one. And a nice funky tune for us has been, it's originally by Israel Tolbert.
Okay.
Most people know the Freddie King version of Big-Legged Woman.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And that one has been fun. Just as it's a nice groovy song that really highlights the rhythm section. like Daryl Wright and Deontay McMusic. Like it's really drum and bass heavy. For me,
Sure.
it really shows the pocket, and so those are the two covers, and the other 8 songs are originals.
Very cool. Now, I noticed that the last album you released was another live album, but this one was recorded at the legendary Rose's Lounge. There's a nice tie there between you and the lounge for sure. Is it any coincidence that every song on that album was original for you?
Yeah, I try to write as much original music as possible and release as much original music as possible. It's good to do the occasional, in my opinion, it's good to do the occasional interpretation of another song, but I aim to put my own music out there. Uh, it's just, for me, that's what it's all about. But at the same time, you can't be um oblivious to the fact that you're not reinventing the wheel. Like I
Right,
have
right.
my own flavor, but like to say, oh, this is my stuff, like, well, this music has like a very long tradition, and there's definitely elements that I have in my music that definitely come from somewhere. And when I do a cover, usually it's about showcasing that, connecting the dots, showing where you found that inspiration. And some people may not be as familiar with the original artist as I would wish they were. And I like to help with that every now and then, when people say, "Oh yeah, I know this song." I'm like, "Well, it's actually a lot older than that, it's you should." Check this guy out.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's my
So,
take on it.
just out of curiosity, I have to ask you, you've now recorded at Rose's Lounge. You recorded on the Rose's Lounge stage at Chicago Blues Fest. What do you see between the two? Are there any preferences for between the two that you did, or was one easier because it was more intimate? Um, Compare the two for me, if you would.
Um, Dealing with the festival sound was a lot more difficult,
Okay.
just because um everything is in a hurry, microphone placement and everything is in a hurry. You can't really take your time miking the drums in a way that is like great for recording. So we had to kind of in post-production, like really look at everything and say, hey, what do we have here? Why is this picked up a little bit different than we expected? So it was more labor intense,
Okay.
but the energy from like a big crowd, that's something you can't that really stands out being different.
Yes, sir.
So you hear it's live right away, as to where live recording from a club could almost pass for studio recording. There's a bit of applause and a bit of ambient, but it sounds so clean that you almost can't tell it's live. For a festival, it's just you hear it's a room, it's a space full of people.
Hmm.
And for me, that was the inspiration. When I think about good live recordings from festivals or bigger stages, I think about Jimi Hendrix Plays Monterey. I think about all the Woodstock live recordings. I think about Fillmore East, Allman Brothers. I think about the Band of Gypsies. I think about those recordings where you can tell, or on Woodstock Festival also, Soul Sacrifice recording, Santana. I mean,
Okay.
they have
Yep.
this great energy. They have this great energy, and that's something that I was aiming for. I mean, like something of that excitement, you know.
And I think honestly, I think that it comes across. I mean, I have to be honest with you. I enjoyed the album. I've listened to it several times through, and
Thank
I
you.
think that it's a fun and I would say if I had to put it against all of the other work, I would say this is probably your best work yet, honestly.
That's good. That's good to hear.
So,
Thank you.
all right. Now, you mentioned the word space a moment ago, and we have to talk about this event. It's a full-on live album release concert slated for Wednesday, March 25th, which is just a matter of days away, and it's going to be at Space in Evanston. Now, I can imagine this is going to be a bit more intimate and relaxed for you, yeah?
Yes, it's our first time playing there, and I really
Oh,
like the
nice.
venue. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's I've attended release parties there. I went to Toronzo Cannon's release party for the Shut Up and Play
Yep.
album, and I went to Dave Spector's recording of his
Yes.
live album
You
that
were
he
there
did
for
there.
that?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
And that was great. I really enjoy the venue. They have great equipment, great backline. The lighting is great. The stage looks great for photos. So it's a lot of reasons why they have really good pizza, by the way. Like the restaurant up front has some of the best pizza. They have this big oven, and we come there just for the pizza sometimes. Um,
That's funny. That's funny.
but
And I'm actually making plans to come down because Ronnie Baker Brooks is going to be playing there on the
right
25th of
on.
April. And that
Nice.
falls between my birthday and my husband Garrett's birthday. So we're actually going to try to be there for the 25th and catch Ronnie. So you got to give me some details on this, man. What are the ticket prices going to be? We already know that it's March 25th, but I'm going to turn the floor over to you, sir.
All right. So yeah, doors are at 7 o'clock, and
Okay.
tickets are between 20 and $33. There's tables with reserved seating and standing room. So it's a couple of different categories depending how close to the action you want to be. And
And save some extra money for the pizza.
save some extra money for the pizza. It's excellent. And I can do a little show and tell here. So
Oh, what you got?
big, right. Big shout out to Jim Samaria from that rock show, because he
Okay.
took this action
Oh,
shot
nice.
in his
Nice.
picture. Is turned out really nice for the album cover work, and that's the backside of the CD. And the inside picture is by David Tepper. He took this in
Oh,
the
yeah.
studio,
Very
and
nice.
this would be the
Now,
CD.
now, do you have it on vinyl as well? Oh, yes, you do. Look at that. Look
And
at
this is the
that.
vinyl. So
Beautiful.
this is the vinyl.
Real quick, Stefan, what are the prices for the CDs and the vinyl?
The CDs come $20 and the vinyl comes 30.
That's not bad, man. $30 for vinyl's pretty doggone good.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
trying to keep it reasonable.
Yeah.
Um, because yeah, physical discs, physical music copies has become kind of a collector's item, and it's disappearing largely. But I do think like it's special to have for people, and I don't want to overly milk the angle of making profit with this. I just want people to have it and to enjoy it. Of
Sure.
course, we need to make sure that we pay ourselves back for the production and have a little extra, but I just want people to have it and enjoy it, honestly.
So are digital downloads going to be available as well, Stefan?
It's all available
Okay.
on all platforms as soon as this album goes live on March 15th. And the single, My Poor Heart, is already in three
Yeah.
days. Exactly. The single you can already stream. Um, but I listen to all of it, of course. I listen to the MP3s, I listen to the waves, I listened to the CD, and I listen to the vinyl on my stereo here. And there's nothing like the vinyl. The CD is
I
great,
just gonna
but
say you got to tell me what's the vinyl sound like because there's something about it, man. There's just something about vinyl.
yeah,
There's
I'm
the warm sound and the full,
yeah, I'm not as snobby as some people get with sound quality or recordings, but there is a clear preference, you know. There's a clear preference for me that it sounds best on vinyl, then
Well, at
CD,
least you can,
and then
at least you
everything else.
can, yeah, at least you can recognize, the fact that it does have a fuller sound. I mean, I'm sure that's what you were catching because it seems like every time I get a hold of an album on vinyl, that's what I notice is it's got that warm, full sound that you just don't get with digital and CDs. You just don't.
Yeah. And I mean, CD, I really enjoy. A lot of people don't have a CD player in their car anymore,
I
but
know.
I still have one. It's really great for that purpose. I think that's a great if your stereo system in your car, you put in the CD. That sounds great. But next level up would be the vinyl on a turntable. Like
Indeed. Yes, sir.
that's up here.
All right, Stefan, let's tell people where they can go to learn more about you, maybe order some CDs, some vinyl or merch, or to book you for a gig.
Well, the easiest way would be just my website, which is
Okay.
shblues.com. And there's a contact form, and information on upcoming concerts for the schedule. I try to keep that current, and links to all the released music. So that's your best bet.
Sounds good. And we will make sure to put all pertinent links, including that for space in Evanston, so you can go get tickets. Also, a direct link will be put up there for the album so people can go and buy that before it gets released because we're out here 3 days in advance, baby. And I want to do everything I can to get you to sell as many of those as you can. But Stefan Hillesheim, it has truly been a pleasure once again to have you on the program. Wish you all the best with that beautiful little girl, and I look forward to seeing you out and about this summer. And hopefully your travels bring you back towards Michigan. What do you think?
I think so. We got something to make in. Was talking to the folks in
Oh,
Kalamazoo, and we have some plans to reconnect over the summer.
okay. Some possible breaking news. Stay tuned, folks. That's where you're going to find out the information. Well, stick around. Let me put the ribbons on here, and I'll talk to you in just a moment. Before we wrap up here, I want to remind you that it takes an estimated 5,000 music streams to raise the equivalent of a $20 CD. And we've been talking about music here for the last 5-10 minutes, and I couldn't believe this either. So I made my policy that I buy music from the artist first, and then and only then I will stream on the various platforms. I mean, look, if you want to have live music out there, we owe it to ourselves and the musicians to do our best to support them and spend some of our hard-earned cash on their music. And trust me, they will thank you every single time that you buy from them, okay? Thanks for your consideration, folks. I appreciate it as always. And that wraps up this edition of Time Signatures. Once again, my thanks to our guest, Stefan Hillesheim, but also to you, because without you, we got nothing, okay? Jim Ervin reminding you, keeping the blues alive is everyone's responsibility, but preserving the history of the blues, one story at a time, remains my mission. Until next time, so long, everybody.
This has been Time Signatures with Jim Ervin, presented by the Capital Area Blues Society in Lansing, Michigan. For more information on cabs, visit capitalareablues.org. You can find this episode and past episodes at lccconnect.org. The Time Signatures theme song, Michigan Roads, is used by permission and was written by Root Doctor, featuring Freddie Cunningham.
You know I'm trying, baby, driving up and down these Michigan roads, yeah.
Until next time, keep on keeping the blues alive.